Some years ago, I saw a post on r/aug about 20-round Waffle mags, with a link to an old ARFCOM thread showing how to make one. Now that I'm back in the AUG game with both standard and NATO stocks, I remembered this old post and thought I'd add to it. Before anyone mentions the MSAR 20-rounders, yes, I know they exist, but I'd rather have genuine Steyr over clone mags that might run fine until they fall out of the rifle. Now you might be asking, aren't you just ripping off that old ARFCOM thread? Yes, or at least I would be had I only made 20-rounders. For shits and giggles, I took it a step further and cut both 30 and 42 rounders at every single rib to find all possible capacities, resulting in hours of dremeling and quite the mess. Now it's worth noting there are two molds for the 42 rounders. Older 42s have wider rib spacing near the base, but the new ones don't. The 42 I used for this had the old pattern, so expect your mag to hold an extra round if you're cutting a new one. I measured capacity by checking whether the mag seat's on a closed bolt. Some were very, very close. A millimeter can make the difference, and there's plenty of room for error, so don't be surprised if your capacity varies, because mine did. You don't need to see me do this 15 times, so I'll play one clip while I talk you through it. First off, wear a mask. Microplastics are no bueno. You'll need a pair of needle nose pliers for any excess plastic and a Dremel with a metal wire wheel. The wire wheel is more forgiving than the cutting disc and produces less molten plastic, making the process a lot easier. In order to do this, you're just going to cut the magazine body at one of the ribs and repurpose that rib to hold the floor plate, smoothing out any imperfections in the process. As for the 20-rounder, it actually holds 21, but it's still the best choice. It sits flush with the stock, so there's no real benefit to going any shorter. The other capacities were fun to play with, but outside of niche cases, I don't see a use for them. If you really want to dial in your mags, you can also trim the spring to match OEM tension. Knowing the 42-round spring has 14 coils under tension, and the 30-round spring has 13, we can do the math needed to find out how many coils to cut from the spring. By we, of course, I mean ChatGPT, which also made this graph. I don't think it's necessary, and I've heard of people running 30-round springs in their 10-round mags without issue, but the option's there if you want.
Here's your 21-round mag. And she fits, and it is basically flush actually. This isn't like a perfectly flat surface, but look at that. That is really flush. The 21-round mag, especially since you're not hacking up an expensive 42-rounder, and it's flush with the ground. I think the 21-rounder out of the Steyr 30 is the way to go.
Anyways, that's all I got for you, so toodles.